Hey. Hi, everybody. Welcome. How is everybody doing? Happy Monday. Hi. Hey. So, I am on here today to talk about tips on how to regulate during escalated situations in the classroom. And this is everything we'll be discussing in the February 19th workshop. Um, the workshop is on regulation in the classroom for teachers, regulating ourselves to help regulate our students. It's a 90-minute workshop. We're going to talk about our parasympathetic nervous system, how we can turn the calming response on and our stress response off so that we can face those really high stress moments in a calm, cool, and collected way and choose the best path forward. A lot of issues that the teachers I work with face can be solved by just dampening our fight or flight response so that they can easily remember and apply the strategies that they have learned or know about, but in the moment they just cannot remember because their brain is so frazzled that they can't think. It isn't until later, once they've calmed down and separated themselves from the situation, do they think, "Oh my god, I should have done X, Y, or Z." It happens to everybody, right? Like, not just in the classroom, but in everyday life. So, not being able to think in high stress moments is completely human. We all do it. And it has everything to do with the brain and nothing to do with your competence as a teacher or how compassionate you are as a human being. It all has to do with the brain. So the brain is designed to keep you safe. And it does that through the fight or flight response, which turns your thinking brain off and your feeling brain on. So the feeling brain is ready to do three things. It's ready to fight, it's ready to run away, or it's ready to freeze. And its only goal is to protect you. But the problem is if you are in charge of your classroom and you're really stressed or you're triggered, fighting or running away or freezing are not helpful options and might get you fired. So, to keep your brain from freezing up in the moment, you have to be able to turn your stress response off. And you can do that by turning your calming response on. The calming response is called the parasympathetic response or the rest and digest response. The nervous system's response that slows down your heart rate, turns your cognitive thinking back on, speeds up your digestion, relaxes your muscles and lungs. It pretty much gets your body into a state where it can relax and it can think clearly. So, to quickly review, there are two nervous systems: the stress response that prepares you to fight, flight, or freeze, and the parasympathetic response, which calms your body down and allows you to think clearly. The stress response turns your feeling brain on, and the calming response turns your thinking brain on. So, to get your calming response on and your thinking brain online, you have to be able to notice when you're triggered. You have to be able to notice when your stress response has been activated. When I work with teachers on this, I train them to do two things: to know their triggers or what puts them in fight or flight, and to pay attention to their physiological responses. That's the responses that your body has when you're triggered. When you know your triggers and you know your physiological responses, it's a lot easier to notice when your stress response is active and when you need to do those parasympathetic or calming exercises. So once you get good at noticing when your stress response has been engaged, then you need a go to calming exercise. You want that exercise to be simple, easy to do anywhere, and easy to remember. I have teachers place visual cues around them so that they will be reminded throughout the day to use the exercise whenever they notice that they're triggered. You also want to practice the response when you're calm so you know what to do. Your body is used to it, and you don't have to think too much about it when you're stressed out in the moment and your thinking brain has been completely turned off. So, calming exercises are things you can do to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system or your calming response because your calming response and your stress response can't be activated at the same time. Some good calming responses are notice labeling and get curious, five senses activities, somatic experiencing, or diaphragmatic breathing. And I'll be covering how to do each of those exercises and how to implement them into your day. And we're even going to create like our own individualized plans uh, in the February 19th workshop. So if you want to learn more, definitely check out the February 19th workshop. That's going to be all on regulation. Okay, so to review, to engage your calming response and get your thinking brain back online, you'll want to know your triggers and your physiological responses when you're triggered. And you want to have a go to calming exercise that engages the calming response and turns off the stress response. Remember that the calming response and your stress response can't be engaged at the same time. So if you can stimulate your calming response, it will shut off your stress response. This allows you to think more clearly in the moment, and you'll be able to choose the best path forward for yourself and your students in those high stress moments in the classroom. So, teaching is an extremely stressful job. And these strategies, they're taught all the time to professionals in high stress industries like ER doctors, surgeons, firefighters, first responders, CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. It's it is time that these strategies are taught to teachers. And that's why I created the Meet the Needs workshop series, which is a 4-part workshop series that includes 4 workshops that focuses on everything you need to do to get control of your stress response and be able to think clearly in the moment. February 19th, we will be doing our second workshop, and this workshop is on the power of regulation, regulating yourself to help regulate your students. We'll be talking about what I talked about in this live. I'll be giving tips and tricks on how to teach these strategies to students and how to co regulate with an escalated student so that you can bring them back to calm and help them get control of their fight or flight. If you are trying to use strategies in the classroom, but just can't access them when you need them, this workshop is for you. Right now, the workshop is linked in my stories. You can also get the workshop on my website at teachingtoyourright.com, or you can comment workshop on this live, or you can message me. It might take a couple days for me to get back to you. My DMs are a mess. I hope that this helped. I hope that I will see you all on February 19th, and I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your week. Bye, everybody. Bye.